Greetings from Saigon, where I woke up in the middle of the night with a cockroach crawling on me in my brand new apartment. Welcome to Saigon. Actually, I've lived here for a while. I just moved apartments and this is a nice place, but wow, I hate cockroaches and I have very good reason. Everybody hates cockroaches, but I have a story, which I will tell at some point, but not today. Today, I want to talk about something else that's really irritating me, which is these videos on YouTube that I've seen now a couple of dozen times with titles like, I'm going to tell you in 10 minutes what it took me 40 years to learn. Really? I mean, I've been learning for a long time. I'm pushing 70. And there's no way I could boil this down into 10 minutes, let alone a 10-minute YouTube video. I am going to do a lot of YouTube videos, that's the plan. But they're not going to boil everything I've learned down into one video. It's not going to boil everything I've learned down into 100 videos if I ever get that far. Life doesn't work that way. It's just words. It's not experience. Now, I've met some very intelligent, very wise 25-year-olds. Seems to me kids are a lot smarter these days than they were when we were growing up. And they do have the benefit of some knowledge, even us old boomers. At least I hope so. But you got to learn the hard way, and you got to do things, or even if it's not so hard, it usually is. But you have to learn from experience. Learning from books, learning from words, from aphorisms. I don't care if it's Jesus or Buddha or Oscar Wilde. All good stuff, all very entertaining. And once you've learned a few of those things the hard way, then they resonate in a different way and they're like, haha, yeah, got it. But man, that stuff, life etches itself on your body, on your soul, on your heart. It burns the lessons in. And that's how you learn. And so that's what I'm doing with this channel, is I'm trying to encourage people to live the life of their dreams. I'm living the life of my dreams. It's not impossible. I know right now is a pretty tough time for a lot of people. But you know what? I grew up in the 70s. It was tough then too. The inflation was worse. And New York City was bankrupt, you know? I mean, things were tough. And Vietnam, where I live, was just finishing up decades of war. So the 70s weren't all that much fun either. And neither were the 80s, and the 90s were actually pretty good. But I mean, it's always hard, and you can always live the life of your dreams. And I'm here to encourage that, and to give what tips I can. And a lot of that will come in the form of me telling stories, because I think that stories are the most powerful way of getting something across. Definitely more powerful than an aphorism, and even more powerful than a 10-minute YouTube video. But I'm going to try to squeeze them in here because this is the format I have. I've done all different kinds of formats. I've been a writer my whole life, professionally. I've been a musician, amateurly. I've written plays, I've done a one-man show, I've written books, and all through it all, I've traveled a lot, and I've kept pushing, and I've kept pushing towards the life of my dreams, the life that I dreamed when I was 11 years old, and 12 years old, and 15 years old, and 20 years old, which is when I started living it and traveling. And now I live in Saigon for part of the year. I live all over the place. A couple weeks I'll be in Japan, then I'll be in the US, then I'll be in Mexico, Spain, France, Italy. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of adventure in this because the adventure has not stopped. But I am going to share some of the stories that I have and how I got to this point in the first place. And it was not easy, and I can't boil it down to you in 10 minutes, and I'm sorry. But that's not how it works. The way it works is you put one foot in front of the other. And you make some great steps, and you make some serious missteps, and you have some tremendous victories, and you have some really, really big disasters. Disasters that make a cockroach in your bed in the middle of the night seem kind of funny. Which it kind of was, except not really, because I hate cockroaches. But that's another story. And I'll tell that story down the line, because it was gruesome. Oh. Meanwhile, I'm here. I'm going to keep coming back and posting these videos, and I'm going to get better at it. And I just want to encourage you. I feel like at this point in my life, besides continuing to have a good time and continuing to learn things myself, I want to share some of what I've learned, because it didn't come easy. It can't be boiled down into 10 minutes, but it can be told, and the stories can be told. And I will share some of my victories, and I will share some of my total screw-ups, which are actually much more entertaining than the victories, truth be told. So we'll go there too. But I'm David, and I am really pleased to meet you. And I just want to say, just step out, step up, one foot in front of the other, keep going, onward.